Hello! So it's been a while since I last posted a video, mainly because I've been waiting on some albums to arrive, and only 3 arrived, of which these 2 arrived last week. The third one, Cassandra Wilson's Glamoured, on the Tone Poet series, I had to send it back. It was nothing wrong with the cover, but and seemingly the vinyl was in excellent condition. But when I played it, there was a very noticeable degree of sibilance, which rendered it unlistenable. To be honest, there would, on any S's or F's that Cassandra was singing, it sounded like just like white noise coming out of the right speaker whenever she sang an S or an F. So yeah, that was particularly annoying. So I've sent it back. I called Juno Records, whom I ordered these 3 albums from, and they just said, yeah, send it back and we'll credit you. So they've been excellent. So they didn't have any more in stock though, unfortunately. So I don't know if that's common for that particular release, but maybe it was just that particular one, because I have to say, with the Tone Poets, I've been really, really impressed with the quality. There is one album, actually, funnily enough, this one, Bass on Top, which does the same thing, but they mention it on the back of this album, which you can't read, but it says that they overloaded the mic and the I think it's the cymbals on that particular album. They come out almost the same as the sibilance. Really, it's like white noise, but that's part of the recording. That's not the vinyl. So I don't know whether that particular copy of Glamoured was defective. But anyway, it's been sent back. Juno Records have been excellent about it. I know it's not the hi-fi, because this is let me just take my ship off the top of my turntable. This is, as you can see, it's a parallel. You can see that it's a parallel tracker. So the arm and the cartridge just kind of, they run parallel. They run parallel to the record. So it's not alignment issues, and to be honest, I'm not getting issues with any other records. So yeah, it's the vinyl, which is particularly annoying, because I was really keen on listening to that one, but there's no more of those. So anyway, back to these 2. The Joan Armatrading on Intervention Records is fantastic. That is a fantastic recording anyway. I think I've heard this album before. No, I haven't. I had the greatest hits, and I've heard some of the tracks which are on this album from the greatest hits, and that was just a bog standard greatest hits album that came out, I don't know, late 80s, probably mid 80s, and the sound quality of that was amazing. So this is obviously a really, really good recording, and this version from Intervention is fantastic. It's a gatefold. They've done a fantastic job on the cover. The vinyl's in really good condition, although actually there is a little mark on the vinyl. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, now that, I don't know what that is. It's not paper. We'll see what happens when we play it, but I can't get that out. I've cleaned it. I've got a couple of brushes to try and get stuff like that out, but it doesn't seem to be shifting, so it's probably a scratch, but we'll see when we play it. I've only played side 1 at the moment. That's on side 2, but this is fantastic. Side 1, as I say, is the only side I've played so far, but sounds amazing. And Joan Armatrading is such a fantastic artist anyway, and her music still sounds fresh today. She really was quite different to most other singer-songwriters of that era. And in fact, she kind of carved a swathe through the music business, a very unique, I think she has a very unique sound. I really do, and just a fantastic artist. Anyway, this is a Tone Poet, Black Fire, by Andrew Hill. Quite edgy, not easy to get into. I'm still trying to find my way into this album. I'm slowly getting there. It takes a good few listens, I think. The only musician that I'm familiar with here is Joe Henderson. I wouldn't be familiar with Richard Davis or Roy Haynes as much. So, and this is the first album I've got by Andrew Hill. I know there are others that are particularly well regarded, like Point of Departure, which I think Music Matters did a version of. If you can still get, I think you can still get that actually on the Music Matters Jazz website. So yeah, sounds really, really good, as all tone poets do. But quite edgy, and it's going to take a few listens before I get. It's not easy to get into jazz. It's out there, so it takes a few listens. I'm sure many listens it'll become a rewarding listen after a time. And the only other thing I just wanted to talk about was, you may have seen this as I kind of switched the camera from here to there, but this book, Uncompromising Expression, it's the story of Blue Note Records, which I bought from Amazon. It's on Thames and Hudson. I think you can still get this. It's the hardback version. Really is a fabulous, fabulous book. It goes through the decades with the label and kind of highlights certain albums that stick out as, you know, the cream of the Blue Note crop, if you like. Not a surprise to see Moaning there. The Three Sounds, Something Else, which is just a fabulous. Oh, that is an amazing jazz album. I'm thinking of doing a series of videos, kind of my top. Look, I don't have every jazz record going, so I'm not a definitive. And I can't do a definitive. These are the top 20 jazz albums. I can't do that, and of course, everyone's opinion differs anyway. But I do have probably around 100 jazz albums now, so I would probably I'm thinking of doing a series of my favourite jazz albums, which I have found essential and which kind of drew me into the genre and have kind of led me on to other discoveries. So I'm thinking of doing that, although that'll take a while. There's some great photography. That's due to come soon, isn't it? The Sonny Clark from the Blue Note Classic series. That hasn't arrived yet, but I really can't wait to get this. So yeah, it just kind of, there's like a short section on each decade, and then it goes into detail on a few kind of seminal releases on the Blue Note catalogue, Blue Train. What an album that is. So yeah, if you can get this, it's a fantastic book. Really, really. I mean, it's quite thick. It's like 300, 400 odd pages, but it's a great resource to learn about the label and to also explore new recordings that perhaps you hadn't considered, that are not at the forefront of everyone's lists, basically. So yeah, I highly recommend that. And actually there's another book which I'll swing over here, similar, and this is the book on the Verve label, which is equally as good. Where am I going to put this? I'll put it on my speaker. Equally as good, and there's some fantastic photography in this. It talks about various luminaries, luminary artists, leading artists on the jazz label. Verve, like Ella Fitzgerald, Charlie Parker, not just the Verve label, but the Norgran label, Norman Granz's various labels. Oscar Peterson is featured in this. Unfortunately, I got a stain on the cover, which is annoying. But again, this is fantastic. This is really, really good, and it talks about the beginnings of jazz. And some great photography in this. Really fantastic. Billie Holiday, Louis Armstrong, and it talks about seminal albums from the label. Trying to find one actually. I'll leave it there, I think. Anyway, fantastic book. So if you're into jazz, these are great additions to just kind of, push your knowledge, further your knowledge, and learn about the genre, because there's so many artists within that genre that recorded between the the late 20s, early 30s to present day. Anyway, that's about it from me. I'm not sure when I'll do my next video because I've got some pre-orders on the way. I guess I'll just have to wait until they arrive. the Cool Strutting, Back at the Chicken Shack. They're due in whenever they're sent. So I'll probably do a video then. In the meantime, keep spinning those records. Thanks for watching.